What's good, everybody? Travo and Cream Pro Wrestling Podcast. Find us here on YouTube. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Cream here. What's going on, everyone? Another edition of Cream Reviews the Friday shows, where I take a look at WWE Smackdown and AEW Rampage. So we're going to get into those. But first, we're doing it early in the video today. If you haven't watched Travo and I review this past week's AEW Dynamite, please go check it out. And if you haven't watched Cream review the previous Friday shows, go check that out as well. Give those videos a like. Give them a subscribe for more great content in the future. We got a lot of good stuff coming down the pipeline. So subscribe to check it out. Smackdown kicked off with a Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar video recap, recapping the events of last week, when Seth Rollins walked into Roman's office and declared that he was the number one contender for Roman Reigns' Universal Championship. Pretty much just stuff from last week, nothing new. Then it was announced we would have a face-to-face between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And also that legend Leda, was going to return tonight. The Usos make their way to the ring first. There was a recap of their street fight last week with the New Day, that they successfully retained their SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Then they cut a promo pretty much just saying there was going to be a fatal four-way tag team match playa to determine who was going to be the Usos' next champion or challengers for their championships. Easy for me to say. The participants in said fatal four-way are Los Lotharios, Cesaro and Mansoor, Jinder Mahal and Shanky, and the Viking Raiders. Only one of those teams has really had TV time over the past couple weeks. I wonder who's going to win. We go to the match. This was a good match. A lot of good young talent here. There was a killer Tower of Doom spot, which is pretty much where there's one person on the top rope and then there's two people trying to suplex him off, and then the final person throws them off so that everybody just goes tumbling. It was a crazy spot. Always is fun to see. The Raiders pick up the win with the Viking experience, so predictable result there, but it was a good match to kick off the show. So they're going to be the Usos' next challengers. The Usos cut a promo on them after the match. I'm happy that the Usos are not playing cowardly heels. They are actually fighting champions, even though they are bad guys. So wrestling definitely needs more of that. The bad guys need to not be so cowardly. So congrats to the Viking Raiders on becoming the number one contenders. Next, we had our progressive match flow. Had to throw that in there. It was recapping Naomi and Sonia feud. Sonia screwed Naomi out of a win against Charlotte Flair last week. More on that in a bit. We move to Naomi confronting Sonia in her office. She's going to beat down on Sonia, but Adam Pearce appears to keep the peace. He keeps the peace. It's a rule now that if Sonia has her suit jacket on, she's the boss and Naomi cannot touch her. So that will come into play later. Next up, we had a Sami Zayn promo. He came out and went down to the ring, but then when we came back from commercial break, he was on the ramp, so not really sure why he even went down to the ring. Maybe they told him he couldn't cut his promo in the ring. But he's just pretty much talking crap about Johnny Knoxville, who Royal Rumble style eliminated Sami Zayn over the top rope last week, and that's how Johnny Knoxville qualified for the Royal Rumble match. Johnny Knoxville of Jackass fame. Not wrestler named Johnny Knoxville, the actual Johnny Knoxville. Just want to clear that up, clarify that, because I know it sounds crazy. He gets in a shopping cart, and he's going to become a Jackass star with his new show called In Zayn. In Zayn. Sami Zayn, get it? It's a good pun. So he's just got these indie wrestler guys, like, pushing him down towards a ramp. You know, he says he's going to jump the ring, but it's, like, not physically possible. But he keeps stopping. He keeps getting scared and chickening out. The crowd boos. The crowd hates it, that he won't even try it. So he says he's not going to do it. He gets in the ring. Boogs appears out of nowhere. Rick Boogs appears out of nowhere. He gets the distraction on Sami while Shinsuke hits him with a Kinshasa from behind him, and then Boogs throws Sami out of the ring onto these crash pads that were supposed to catch the shopping cart as it flew off of the ramp. So that's how the segment ended, with Boogs and Shinsuke standing tall. Sami is the #1 contender for Shinsuke's Intercontinental Championship, so hopefully they're fighting at the Royal Rumble. Next up, we had an Aaliyah interview backstage. She hasn't really been seen since she got kicked off the Survivor Series team around that time, but she has a match with Natalya next. And then Natalya interrupts and cuts a promo talking about how she owns 3 world records in the Guinness World Book of Records, and Aaliyah, being a typical millennial or Gen Z, whichever she is, says, I didn't know the Guinness World Book of Records was still a thing. And then she makes her entrance. We come back from commercial, and Natalya cuts a promo saying that she's going to break her own record at Aaliyah's expense when she pins her in 3.7 seconds. Pretty much, you know, making what happens next very predictable. Natalya beats down Aaliyah before the bell rings. Very important there. Really working on her leg and stomach area. Injures her. She still wants to fight, though, and it was a very clunky sequence for her telling the ref that she could go. So, very bad there, but bell rings. Aaliyah rolls up Natalya and wins in 3.17 seconds, setting a new Guinness World Book record for fastest female match in WWE. Man, oh man. Poor Natalya. That's really all I have to say about it. Hopefully, though, you guys hearing this? There's a disagreement going on over here. Yeah, hopefully Natalya doesn't suffer too bad from this, and they build Aaliyah as a real star, and she's not going to be wasted. Next up, we had a Leda in-ring interview with Michael Cole. I'm just going to talk over him. I'm just going to let him do the thing. So Michael Cole pretty much hypes up Leda's accomplishments, which he really should. You know, Leda, one of the first women's wrestlers to really actually be a wrestler, you know, to not just be a manager or a piece of eye candy. I mean, she did plenty of that too, of course, but, you know, she was really a trailblazer, and a lot of women on the roster today look up to her, so I'm glad they played up her accomplishments like that. Of course, she says she's going to enter the Royal Rumble match, which brings out an interrupting Charlotte Flair. You know, we get on AEW a lot for interruptions, but WWE, you're guilty of it too, I'm not going to lie. Charlotte comes out, cuts a promo, says she is going to be in the Rumble match. Of course, she's entering as champion, and she wants to pick her opponent, which I wonder if she does win, who she's going to pick. Is she going to pick somebody like Mae Young, you know, or something like that, like a guaranteed victory? I don't know what her plan is. It doesn't really make sense that she's entering the Rumble match, but Charlotte gets a giant head chant, which Leda gets started. Charlotte insults her, which I guess she thought was going to phase Leda, so Leda fake slaps her. Charlotte flinches real hard, so Leda's like, alright, what if, and hits her with a twist of fate. And then they play her music, and she does the Hardy Boys thing as we go to commercial. So Leda stands tall on Charlotte Flair. I would actually like to see that match. Maybe not at WrestleMania, kind of feels like a waste of a slot at WrestleMania, but, you know, just at another pay-per-view. Give me Charlotte versus Leda. Good stuff. Next up, we had a Sheamus interview. He gives a Ridge Holland health update. Ridge Holland, of course, broke his nose at day one at the expense of Ricochet. So Sheamus is going to get revenge on Ricochet tonight in their match. So they had the match, Sheamus versus Ricochet. Man, just workhorses working like horses, man. This was probably the match of the night. I don't know. The Fatal 4-Way Tag match was pretty good, too. You know, these guys always put on a good show. Sheamus definitely getting, like, legend pops from the crowd. You know, the crowd loves him. Even though he's a bad guy, he's just been around so long. He's got the longevity. People respect him. He's a former champion. And he's doing good work, and he's putting on great matches. So he gets the win with an insane brogue kick. You know, Ricochet, he's always... Poor guy, he's always losing, but in spectacular ways. Of course, Sheamus is going to be in the Royal Rumble, so excited to see Sheamus in the Royal Rumble. Next up, we had Adam Pearce and Sonia back in the office. Apparently, someone had turned the thermostat up to a high heat. So Sonia takes off her jacket. And who busts in? Naomi. And she tries to fight her, but Adam Pearce, he keeps the peace. But he awards Naomi another match against Charlotte next week. So Naomi versus Charlotte championship contenders match next week. They're going to run it back. Hopefully Sonya doesn't get involved this time. Next up, we had Kofi Kingston entrance. He had a match against Madcap Moss next. But before that, he cuts a promo saying that King Woods is injured and he's going to be out for a length of time. And Kofi is going to enter the Royal Rumble match. And this gets a huge eruption from the crowd. Like, the crowd is really, really into Kofi. See, just like Sheamus, been around forever. Former legend, or former champion, legend. You just can't beat it. So everyone's excited to see Kofi in the Rumble. I hope he does something crazy like he's known for. Corbin and Madcap interrupt. Of course they do. Madcap and Kofi have the match. It's, you know, it's a good match. It's far too short. But Kofi really makes Madcap Moss look good here. He wins clean. No Corbin interference. This is what I like to see when they're building stars. Madcap Moss wins clean with the punchline, which is his, like, neck breaker, you know, finishing move. It's a good one. But people online are mad because Kofi's taking the L here. But honestly, I'm okay with it if they're building new stars. If Madcap Moss is getting built up to be a big star, hey, I'm all about it. Then finally, we had your main event segment. We had Seth freaking Rollins versus Roman Reigns in a promo off. Not a match. You know, this could have been... I'm actually disappointed by this segment. This could have rivaled if they would have brought up all the history and everything that's gone on between the two of them. They could have referenced Dean, you know, who's John Moxley now. This could have been on the level that the MJF and CM Punk promo off was, where Punk called MJF, you know, the Miz. Yeah, this could have been on that level as far as, like, promos of the year. But they didn't really go that hard on each other. Roman does insult Seth and says that if he was going to choose somebody to main event with, it wouldn't even be someone it would be someone else out of Seth's household. It would be Becky instead of Seth. You know, but it wasn't, they didn't, like, tug on any heartstrings or anything like that. So with 1 minute left in the show, they're still jawing at each other, and the Usos come out of the crowd. They try to jump Seth, but Seth escapes, and Roman and the Usos stand tall in the ring, as Seth says he's going to destroy Roman and take his title. So I am looking forward to their match. These guys, they always deliver no matter what. This is as close to a Rock Austin as I think we get in today's WWE. You know, there's not really any stars that are built up to that level, you know. But Seth, over the last 10, 13 years, however long he's been around, he's really become, you know, like a main eventer, like on the A level. So I'm looking forward to this match. I think they're going to put on something good. But that's it for SmackDown. Tune in next week. We'll be right back with our AEW Rampage review.